Hello, everyone. Once again, welcome to this session where we'd like to look at dealing with exam anxiety. I'm Joshua Obuya, a GMAT trainer with the Kenya ELIF program. And in this session is one that is exciting because it's a topic that we all come across almost any other given time whenever there is something that we are looking forward to. It's anxiety. So let's look at and see how do you deal with the GMAT exam anxiety because as you progress towards exam, at some point you'll feel anxious either during the preparation for exam or even during the exam itself. So when that happens, how do you go about that? Or what is it about? Or what can you do to avert that? So yeah, let's dive right in without further ado. So first and foremost, what is anxiety and what causes it? Anxiety, by the Oxford Dictionary, is a feeling of being worried. Yeah, it's nervousness or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with uncertain outcome. Yeah, an example in a sentence is a surge of anxiety. So when you're feeling worried about something or uneasy about something that is that's imminent to happen, or just something that is about to happen, and you're not sure about the outcome, then that state is actually a state of being anxious. Okay. So there are also two sides of it. There's actually the anxiety that can be on the bad side that also can lead probably to panic attacks and somebody losing control or not knowing what to do. And that is actually more or less like the extreme side of it, of what a state can be, of anxiety can be. There is also the good side. When you're looking forward to do something good and you don't know what the outcome is, that's also good anxiety. So the desire to do something typically accompanied by an ease. For instance, if a housekeeper is expecting a guest and looking forward to serving them and stuff, there's some anxiety that comes with it, not the bad anxiety, but the good one. So the opposite of anxiety in this state also could just be just calmness. If you're calm and serene, and there's no anxiety. That's what you want to like look at. So in the GMAT exam as well, as you prepare for the exam, someone can get anxious and someone can feel anxious on the either on the bad side or on the good side because you don't know what score you will get and you're looking forward to expecting some score once you do the exam. So there is some anxiety to have. So you'd rather have the good anxiety compared to the bad anxiety. But the good one actually is the possible one you're looking for. You've done everything right. And actually, somehow you're not really going to lose control, but you're looking forward to doing whatever you're supposed to do and get overdone with it. That's what you're looking at. Now, another definition of anxiety also is the medical term, which is mainly used in psychiatry. It's a mental condition characterized by excessive apprehensiveness about real or perceived threats, typically leading to avoidance behaviors and often to physical symptoms such as increased heart rate and muscle tension. This is more or less like a medical situation, which many times, if you look at probably just if you look it up, it comes out of multiple series of anxieties, and also probably caused by events, probably some extreme events that may throw you off your a state of being in good mental state. So those may cause actually those kind of anxieties, but we're not going to deal with that. We're only going to look at the normal day-to-day kind of anxiety and what pertains to the exam. That's what we're going to look at. So not the medical one. And we're going to look at compare both sides where now we have both the negative side of the anxiety and the positive side of the anxiety. So what is it? So how do you avoid anxiety? How do you avoid the state that will get you to lose control and not do your best when it comes to an exam? How do you avoid that? Now, it's a whole process. It doesn't just happen on that day. It starts from way back because preparedness also reduces anxiety. Being prepared about something and also knowing what to expect, it reduces the state of being anxious because also we know that, as you've seen, that if you don't know the outcomes of something, then actually can be anxious. So it should start actually with a very early point when you start preparing for the GMAT exam. So start with a feasible end in mind. If you are actually a good student and you know what scores you're targeting based on your abilities, if you're targeting 700 scores, then you know and you know that you can get that, then have that in mind. If you know that your abilities is in the 600s, have that in mind and have that known. Understand what the GMAT exam is all about. Know everything about it. Yeah. There are the misconceptions that you have. There are the things that you may think you know about the GMAT exam. When you're starting off, the things you may not know, and as you progress, the things also you'll keep learning, and the things that you may not know. And when these things that you don't know catch up with you during the exam or close the exam, then a state of anxiety exists. or kicks in rather. So you need to understand what the GMAT exam is about. Know everything that you can know about it. What sections does it have? What type of questions are they? What material do you need to prepare for it? And so on and so forth. What score do you desire to achieve given that knowledge that you have? Okay, given my knowledge and the goals that I have to join this university, this is the required score I desire to achieve. This score, is it feasible to you? And how will you know it is feasible? You will know its feasibility by knowing what it will take to get that score. If you're targeting a 700 score, then what does it take to get a 700? If you're targeting a 550 score, what does it take to get that score? If you're targeting a 600 score, what does it take to get that score? Then on next, do you have what it takes with the desired score? One of the key factors which could be overlooked is the factor of time. Getting a 700 isn't out of reach. It just may require more time. It may require more study material. It may require a different approach to doing things. Do you have that? Getting a 600 or a 550 may actually require what? Some time as well. Not as much as 700, and also depending on your abilities. For those who actually probably by the time they're beginning, they're above 600 level, it will take them a shorter time. So given the time you have in place, many times it could be about 3 months or 4 months. Given that time, what score can you achieve? Can you achieve this score? And in this time, what should you be doing? And do you have the things you do? So prepare well and prepare early. When you prepare well, prepare early, then actually you are in the path. Then next, familiarize yourself with exam. Once you've done your studies and actually, once you've known and actually doing your studies, have a routine that resembles the exam. By this, I mean, you need to have your practice questions in a way that they do mimic the exam. If you're doing a quant practice session, then you should have the number of questions which are as they are in the exam. If they are, let's say the quant has 23 questions to 45 minutes, do that. Do 23 questions in 45 minutes. Don't take longer than that. In the first days, you can't take longer, but you should work towards making it be that. If you're doing the verbal section, then yes. Next, when you do the verbal section, also mimic that. Apart from that, one thing else you want to do or you want to look out for is to try and mix your questions as much as possible because the exam doesn't give you questions from one topic. So from a very early stage, start doing that so that you can familiarize yourself with the exam content and how the exam look like. And that way you will have more or less like perceived expectations and be less anxious. Start doing practice questions as they are in the exam. Know how the exam is graded and how your abilities compare to it. How is that exam graded? And if you do practice questions, how do your abilities compare to it? And then also finally, also need to know your strengths and weaknesses. We are different. We're all different. Some people are strong in quant, others in verbal. If you're strong in quant, then we should maximize on that. And then if it's verbal, don't want to just leave verbal down there. You want to bring it at least average level. To bring it to average level and capitalize on them on your quant, that will actually help you in also being able to be better prepared. And if you're better well prepared, then actually you can be in a good position to be able to get the desired score. At the same time, also, even just in one topic in itself, okay, in one section itself, let's say quant, there are some topics which you could be good at and some topics not so good at. So make sure the topics you're good at, you know them very, very well. And the topics you're not good at least you know something so that you can be able to get something out of it. At the same time, also, if it's verbal, the same thing. Critical reasoning could be a challenge. Then again, there is reading comprehension. Which one are you good at? Or if they're all generally you're not good at either of them, which one are you learning faster compared to the other? Then capitalize on that and bring the other one to at least some average. Once you do that and you know that, then the next thing that you use is to study very, very well for the exam. Know the GMAT content and approaches. You will not see a question which you've seen before the GMAT exam. You will not. But you will see a question which requires the approaches you have studied in your study approaches. So if you've done it well, then actually do that. Know where you are from your target score. As soon as you know where you are from your target score, you're becoming more and more familiar. Yeah. And how they study the exam preparation structures that fits your schedule and abilities. As you had said, we talked about the abilities for the schedules. Maybe you're working and maybe or maybe also you are a morning person. or you are on even in person or through person, whichever. Have a schedule of studies which fits that so that you can utilize most on that. Yeah. And keep track of the progress, because if you need to know where you are, the more you know about where you are on the GMAT exam, the better it is for you. You will get anxious probably if you think there is something you don't know. But the moment you are pretty much well covered, say that I think I have not given what is known from all this, then I think I know. We have people also, maybe if you can find people who've done the exam before or who actually are good at the exam, like us in the gym training, we can easily help and let you know that these are the areas tested, these are the areas you need to know, and this is what you need to be, this is where you need to be at to get a certain score. So we can work with you and help you get on that. So with that one, it really helps you in also improving on your anxiety states. Yeah.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Upstack America. Upstack America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.upstackamerica.com. Upstack America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential.
Now, you've done your studies, you've done everything, and now you think you're ready for the exam. Even on the mocks, and you feel that now you are very close to target score, or you've met target score at least once. So decide to book the exam after achieving a target score. If your target score is 600, then just please, that's when you should target to book exam. Don't book the exam when you're at 550 and you're targeting 600 and now you're booking exam at that point. No, that would not be recommended, because you are not sure of how much you would need to cover to be able to reach 600. It may take a long time. Remember, you may have actually gained more knowledge at a faster rate, but then again, that's a point where you start plateauing. It happens a lot in learning. When you plateau and the exam dates are drawing near and you haven't reached target score, you start getting worried. When you start getting worried, then now it starts to kick in and so on and so forth. So what's the target score? Once you achieve the target score, then you can book the exam. The next thing is book the exam at least 3 to 4 weeks ahead. Why? Because you also need to change some structures around how you're preparing for the exam, about the time you do the exam, to be able to help you, to be able to help your mind be able to adjust well for that. So, what do I mean by this? Let's say you book an exam on a Monday at 10 a.m. Try as much as possible to be doing one mock every week on every Monday at 10 a.m. If it's a Tuesday, the same thing. Why? If you do that, come on Monday at 10 a.m., your brain will have adjusted well to that and will know that this is actually the model exam. And it will be more or less calm and won't be thrown off balance by new things. So you're doing everything to keep your brain calm. What if let's say you're working and you can't be able to do your mocks on a Monday or on a weekday at 10 a.m., then make sure you do so on a weekend. At least one day in a week, find some day and do that every single day, every week. And use those 3 to 4 weeks to see how further can you improve your score. Because remember, the questions you'll see the GMAT exam, the questions I was saying before, it says you don't know how it will play out with you. So anything can happen because it's a possibility. And many times people tend to get less than what they achieve unless they're very, very calm or actually otherwise. Still, with that state, you need to be as well prepared as possible. So you use this 3 to 4 weeks to at least increase the score further and see how well can you pass your target score. Yeah, and that's what you'll be doing. So that is about for the 3 to 4 weeks before the exam. So once you've done that, there's a last week also before the exam day. This is the time we need to calm down, because you need to slow down, take a very, very huge slowdown in the last week of the exam, because you've had all the time to prepare 3 months. You've done everything and now you're in a good state. And there is nothing that if I told you to study for 3 months, there's no way you can study for 2 days and be able to acquire all that knowledge. That's not possible. So now this is a time to tone down as much as possible. Many times students take the weeks off as they can. Reduce your activities as much as possible. Take the weeks off if you can. And then end your studies 2 to 3 days before the exam. If possible, do your last mock, at least 3 or 2 days before the exam. Not more, yeah, at least at most, yeah, whichever. But let 2 days to the exam, should not be doing anything else apart from probably just reading. So if you're to do a mock, the last mock to just test where you are, the final mock should be the last week of the exam, 2 to 3 days before the exam. Don't engage in training activities. Probably just read and engage in relaxing activities. Outdoor activities, you can, of course, you can exercise and everything else you need to just calm yourself down. And of course, get as much rest as possible. You need to get as much rest as you need. Yeah. Familiarize yourself with the exam room and the exam venue. This is very, very important. Why? Because let's say you don't know where the exam venue is, you don't know how to get there. If you can go there early, like a week before, just go to the venue and tell the people that, hey, I'll be sitting for my exam here next week on this day at this time. I'd like to look at the exam venue and just to familiarize myself with this place. They'll actually be really willing to walk you in and show you the booths where exams are taken. And you may probably say that if possible, I may want to sit in this place or this spot. So that now your mind starts preparing itself and also become more familiar with the situation. So know that and do that early. So once you've done that on the days towards the exam, you're reducing as much as possible things to become about. And at the same time, at this point in time, not much, there isn't much you can do to be able to change the outcomes of the exam if you have not been doing that all along. So at this point in time, pretty much, even if you're given the exam on that day, you should be able to do it and get scores pretty much very close to what you could have gotten even on the exam day. So that's what it means. Now, here comes the D-Day, the exam day, D-Day. On this day, you need to be at your best. That is the very, very thing. Be at your very best because, if possible, because anything else that is beyond your control, that is the only thing that should actually be happening. And everything else, many times things will go according to, many times things will be in your control, many times. And if they're not, there can be also the next time. Have enough sleep and have enough rest. Many times also because of anxiety, I recall when I was sitting for my GMAT exam, on the exam days, because I did the exam twice, I would wake up very early, earlier than normal, about 4 a.m., 3 a.m., and I just couldn't fall back to sleep. Why? Because I'm looking for the exam. The anxiety is there. But now I'm just calming myself down because if you let yourself get worried that, hey, I'm supposed to be sleeping and I'm awake and everything, you will lose it and you won't be at your best. So try and sleep early so that in case you wake up early, still at least can use that to do something productive if need be. Avoid distractions. That time probably if in case you wake up early, the most you can do, don't do any practice questions. Probably just go through the concepts and your study notes if you have any, or if you've been having them, just go through those ones. Avoid distractions as much as possible. Avoid screens if you can avoid screens, but I would highly recommend that avoid screen. And ensure you have all the requirements to take the exam. If it is your ID, passport, anything, prepare them a day in advance and have them all early. Besides, also at this point in time, know also your coming routines and also what can help you get your best. If it's a shot of coffee, then you need that. If it's some sort of an energy drink, you need that. But also be very careful how you use it. Don't use it on the exam day if you've never used it before. That may, because you don't know how it will turn out. Try it early and then see how the outcomes are. Probably not on one of your mocks. Try and mimic the exam day. Probably 2 or 3 mocks. Try and mimic the exam day routine. And just try something and see this one worked for me, this didn't work for me. So I'll put this out. This is a no. I can't try this, but don't try new things on the exam day. In my case, it's normally coffee. So that day, I woke up early, yes, but then I had coffee, and coffee gives me about 3 to 4 hours of focus, of at least 3 to 4 hours. But it's very, very well focused for 2 hours. Beyond 2 hours, it starts going down until the 3rd hour. So yeah. So I would have coffee, but if I take coffee at 3 a.m., that means by the time I'm sitting my exam at 9 a.m., it's worn out. So what do? Just had my coffee, but didn't take it. I had it early. I got to the exam venue very early, very, very important. I arrived at the exam venue very early, possibly an hour before the exam. That's the time I arrived there. And that's when I sat there, I started sipping my coffee. It's an hour to the exam. And by about 20 minutes to the exam time, the exam I was done. So which means now I was in and my coffee state have just given me what I need for that time. So arrive at the venue early, leave home early if you need to. If you can, probably also be close to the exam venue as much as possible. Otherwise, leave very early and have enough time just in case you get lost and anything. Arrive there very early. when you get there, also given what you know about yourself, if you've been taking breaks during your sessions, during your practice sessions, let the assistants know of everything you may need. Let them know, hey, I'll be taking to my breaks. So please, I wouldn't want to lose time during that time because they're also human beings that probably also they're doing other things. So they may not actually be so much when you need them the most, they may not be available. So you may lose some time and lose some time, and that's something else that may happen. So let them know early that, hey, I'll take my breaks or I won't be taking my breaks. I'll just proceed. Um, or anything else. The writing material, are they working? And can they give you extra ones just in case you need an extra one? And anything else which you may have thought of. Talk to people who've been to the exam room before and actually ask them, what should somebody know? Know what is allowed, know what isn't allowed. The calculators not allowed, phones are not allowed. Having long-sleeved tops are not allowed. No, not long-sleeved tops, but just pullovers and jumpers not allowed. Jackets not allowed. Electronics not allowed. So you need to have also probably just dress warmly, layer clothes if you need to, dress or have a cloth inside and a long sleeve top on it. If the room is cold, you can at least stay warm. If it's a bit warm, you can just remove the top and still be comfortable. Have very less luggage with you because you're given a very small locker, not many things can go there. Probably just a very small bag or a wallet, and your phone and keys can go in there. That's all. And yeah, so know what the venue requires, know everything. Yeah. And sure you had actually an MBA profile and everything matches MBA profile earlier on than this day. Because you don't want anything to go wrong, especially if it is within your control. Don't let anything go wrong. So with that done, you will be quite in a very good place. And the anxiety you may have probably is just now, how will I do this exam? I hope it goes well. See, that is now what you're feeling, which is very good compared to, I think I'm not prepared about this and I think there's something else. Oh my God, this may happen. No, don't want that. That's the last thing you want. Okay, let's say you get anxious because it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. You may prepare for everything, but still something just happens and you get anxious. What do you do? Anyway, first of all, what may cause this? What may cause this anxiety? Possibly just something going amiss. Either the pens are not working, or you arrived late, or the weather trained too heavily, and now vehicles got stuck and everything. Yeah, you encounter a question from a topic you're not good at. Yeah, let's say getting a reading comprehension passage on a topic which is the most boring, not even interested in it, and you read it like about 2 or 3 times and not seeing it. So that's what. Or maybe you get a question in quantum probabilities, permutations, combinations, and all of them combined. Yeah, probabilities and permutations and combinations. This actually is a topic which is a bit of a challenge to people. What do you do? Yeah, if you spend so much time also on a question or on a passage, so you feel like you're losing time. Yeah, or you also just feel not well prepared. Those are possibilities. So if this is what happens, in case this is what happens, and you find yourself for some reason getting anxious, how do you calm yourself down? This is just like one of the mocks you've been doing before. So it's a familiar thing. Probably it is the last mock you're doing because actually don't view it as an exam, view it as a mock because you've been doing mocks and this is just like a mock you've never seen before. That's how you view it. A different venue, different conditions. So it's just like a mock like any other. So treat it as that. The way you've been doing your mocks, that's how you'll do this one. Change your perspective. That's one. Two, if you find a question don't know, approach it from the known to the known. Yeah, what do you know about this question? Then how do the concepts around this question connect to each other? And what is the reasoning behind this? And how do I proceed the correct answer? And what is most likely to be the correct answer in this? And you make an intelligent guess in case you don't know it. Move on. Don't spend time. Besides, you'll be timing yourself. So at this point in time, you should be in a position to be able to move on. See, you've also been in a routine of doing things in a certain way. So that helps with reducing anxiety. If at all you actually if it's something totally new that you've never encountered before and it's making you feel anxious, view the cause of anxiety as a lesson that makes you better at what you're doing. We all make mistakes. We will all make mistakes. The mistakes you made in the past are not the last mistakes you'll ever make if you be alive. The mistakes that also will come may not be the last mistakes you'll ever make. But each mistake you've been going through have helped you be a better person to the very, very day that you are in. So view it as a lesson. view the course as a lesson and take it to heart. And the next time you go for the exam again, or the next time also that you may actually face a situation against it, oh, okay, I've seen this before. This is how it goes, and this is how it goes. Nonetheless, also at the same time, oh, you deserve to pat yourself on the back that your goal was to give it your best and to think you are. If it's beyond your control, the rain and everything else, no, that's not my doing. That's not my doing. Yeah, that's not my doing. What is you're doing? You're doing is I gave it my best, and you've done everything feasibly possible to give it your best, and this is what you and this is where you are. So be at peace with that and pat yourself on the back and congratulate yourself for that. You're becoming a better person. Besides, there is another day. This is not the end of life. This is not the end of everything. There is another day. I did the GMAT exam twice, and the first time I think I was distraught at the results, and I also panicked and there was anxiety along the way. But the lessons I learned from it and when I came back, my scores improved tremendously, and things went really well the second time. And I think I was still anxious at some point because I found questions I didn't know. Because at the same time, as you go high and difficult as you do well in the questions, tend to go high and difficult. So when you get questions like no, you don't want to start panic. You didn't panic. You just apply these techniques and things turned out well. So I know that they will turn out well. Just keep going. So keep doing what you need to do, and it shall be well. So with that said, I wish you all the very best. And if you have any other tips about dealing with anxiety, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Share this video with others, and also we can help each other to learn and grow. And yes, and all the best, and thank you all for this time. See you again next time. Bye.
You have been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Upstake America. Come back again next time to learn concepts, tools, strategies, and resources on the path of becoming a successful immigrant in USA through real-life experiences. Be sure to subscribe to Bob Mwiti channel on YouTube and also follow him on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.